Hi, everyone. Every day carries a contract energy. These are frequencies that are in the conscious field that we sense, we feel, we're exposed to. And we can either be at the whim of these energies or we can utilize them, we can leverage them into creation, into understanding what's coming in and understanding where our own vibration is at, and then how we intermix and how we intermingle with these energies, right? So just like you have a spiritual and a physical DNA that means you, that is your code, that is your purpose, that is the reason why you're in the body that you're in on this time on earth, so too does not only everyone else in the collective, but the universe, the earth, all the other planetary influences. And this is where we get a lot of the astrology from as well, right? We can predict a lot of influences that happen, just like we can predict the weather. There's different patterns that come in, and these patterns are based on frequencies. And so even if you don't know your own purpose, if that's something that you're still searching for, like many, many, many other people, and that's okay, just knowing the energies of each and every day will help you to navigate, will help you to understand why you might be feeling really overwhelmed, or why you are feeling like you're just not good enough, that you're just never going to get this. And that's the energy of today. That's the low side of the energy of the day. So the Nine of Spades is the contract energy. And what that really means is you are being asked, or you're feeling the atmospheric energy of completion, of I finished a cycle in whatever this has been, this relationship that I have with my mind, with my body, with my partner, with my bank account. And I'm ready to be called higher. I'm ready to step into the next. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more in a very spiritual accountability to yourself. And so, we can live life over and over and over again every day with this hustle and this, the image I always get is like these bloody knuckles of like climbing up a wall that is meant to just be coasted and be cruised and move, horizontal to and not be scaled. And as you do that, the next will unfold for you. And so this is what I teach in my groups. It's also what I can dive in really particularly deep with all of my private clients as well. So I am going to talk about a new offer that I have where the doors are open and you can join me in my group teachings when we dive deeper into these conversations and we speak in particular about your own code, your own frequency, your own purpose. Right? You have a divine purpose. You have a physical and a spiritual DNA that equals you. It equals not only the body that you're living in, but the purpose you came here to serve out. And so, when you close your eyes and you take a deep breath and you just wonder, what is this all for? Why am I having these same kind of issues show up? Whether it's the same kind of issue, different person in a relationship, and whether it's like a romantic or business or friendship. You tend to call people back into your life over and over and over again until you recognize that what you're doing is calling people in on based on the frequency that you're emitting, and others are being attracted to that. So I'm like, without going down rabbit holes here, talking about the energy of today. So the Nine of Spades, that's the contract energy. That is literally asking you, what feels really heavy in me, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what feels like I have been carrying, I have been allowing to kind of hang over my head. And am I willing to let it go? Am I willing to just drop it? Am I willing to put it down? Am I literally willing to think of these emotions that I've been carrying as baggage that I've picked up, again, in the conscious field? A lot of clients when I begin working with them, they don't realize that they are not their feelings. They are not their emotions. This is stuff that we literally pick up vibrationally, it's like tuning into a radio station. So depending on what your perception is, what your reality is currently, you're going to, like, I think of it as having these blinders on, and whatever you're filtering in the world, whatever your blinders, whatever your reality is, and we dive into this much deeper into all of my teachings, is the frequency that you're tuning into, which is the results that you're going to get. These are the people, the circumstances, the situations that you're going to then attract to you. And so when you understand that, one, you are not your feelings, you are not your emotions, these are something that are separate on the outside of you, that you have allowed in. And so if you ever feel overwhelmed, if you ever feel offended, if you ever feel angry, who doesn't, right? If you're human, you've felt these things. That's actually not you, right? That these are emotions that you've picked up in the conscious field based on some neural patterns that you have going on in the brain. Really great news. You create these neural pathways somewhere between 0 and 7 years old, and you've just been repatterning them over and over and over again. You've been reiterating them. You've been doing exactly what the brain does. It's a steward for patterns, and it sees them, it recognizes them, and it believes them over and over and over again. A belief doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that once upon a time, you thought a thought, you created a meaning out of that, and then that meaning flooded the body with hormones, whether really good high vibe feeling hormones or something on the lower frequency that can tend to feel like I'm not enough. And that really is the energy of the 9 of spades today. The feeling of I've got so much kind of hanging over me, and I know that I need to rid a lot of it, but I don't know how. And so a lot of really abrupt endings in that I'm just going to get really angry and say, screw it all. Or I can't deal with it anymore. This is the really low energy of the 9 of spades. We know that we can measure emotions literally with scientific tools. So on the higher side of the 9 of spade, again, same vibration, different frequencies. What comes up is I'm ready. I'm ready to be called higher. I know I have a purpose. I know that I've been doing this corporate job day in, day out, with feeling in my heart and my gut and my belly that I'm meant for more, that I'm meant to do something else. And so I'm ready today to say, I'm willing to let some of these other things fall wayside that I have been tapping into that's not necessarily good for me, in the form of Netflix, alcohol, right? Chips, food, even calling and complaining, gossiping. These are your go-tos to hide and to cover up what you're actually really feeling. Well, if I just go to social media and I scroll through, all of the reels or whatever it might be, then I'm falsely given myself something to do. So I'm feeling productive. It gives you a momentarily hit of adrenaline, of dopamine, but we all know it's not long lasting. What's long lasting is that slow simmer burn of living your purpose, of getting the love that you are giving back into the world. And we all know what happens when you give and you give and you give, you end up depleting yourself, right? And then you deplete yourself. And then what do? You go right back to the same old things that will give you the hits, the Netflix, the drugs, the alcohol, in my circumstance, it was always candy before coffee, whatever it might be, like the people, right? So just notice the people that you're surrounding yourself with also. Do they light you up? Do they burn your energy? Do you feel really great after hanging out with them? Or do you feel like I need to go take a nap? Or do you feel like you have road rage now, right? So when you know these energies, universally, the universe is emitting this frequency. It's just in the contract. It just is. It's like gravity. It just is. And when you know that it exists, you can really leverage it. So when you know that the 9 of spade is coming in, the 9 is saying, what endings? What can you really say? You know what? I'm done with every night going home and clicking on Netflix and binge watching a show. And instead, in the time, like half the time, maybe, I'm going to journal. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to drink some water, get on a treadmill, or go for a walk and really think about and just dream about this new business that I want to create, or, this new relationship that I'm calling in for me, whatever it might be. So this is the energy, the higher energy of the 9 of spades. When I understand that what I'm feeling, I'm not good enough, or someone else probably already knows how to do it. This is I'm tapping into the lower energy frequency. So think of, the 8 billion plus people on earth right now. How many of them are tapping into the lower frequency? How many of them are tapping into the higher frequency? And you have a choice. This is a law of polarity. It all exists. It's all here. Everything you could ever desire, everything you will ever have, it already is here. And so anything that you're feeling that you really want to experience, it actually wants to be experienced through you as well. And so the question is, are you willing to? Are you willing to feel like, even if you don't know the energies of the day, are you willing to every morning as you lay in bed, take a deep breath and just feel into yourself? How do you feel? Are you waking up every morning frantic? You slept through your alarm, you're flying out the door, right? You've halfway brewed a cup of coffee. And then that sets you up literally vibrationally in your perspective to then have that kind of day, frantic, always behind, never enough. So, my purpose in doing these lives is to talk a little bit about like what the kind of conversations I have in my group teachings, but then also in my one-on-ones. In my one-on-one teachings, we can really dive very deep and get very specific, and literally read your purpose. You have a divine blueprint, and it can be read literally like your DNA of your physical codes. So too can your spiritual codes. It's already mapped out. How cool is that we already know this stuff? When you know this, when you're playing on the lower side, and you know what you can do in order to call yourself higher into the higher side, right? So for example, I am coded into communication. I'm the 2 of clubs. I am meant to clear my throat chakra. I am meant to speak my purpose. I am meant to come live on Facebook, even though it's not as terrifying anymore. But I've talked a lot about when I first started doing Facebook Lives, I literally sat there with my finger right up against the go live button for about 30 minutes because I literally felt like I was going to die. So when I understand that that's part of my coding, that I am meant to communicate, I'm meant to speak my truth, I'm meant to be seen, and to release that, to put that out into the universe and to be of service, to lead, right? I have leadership showing up all throughout my code. So this is me understanding that in the past, before I understood this, going live on Facebook, I could have took that as, this is what sometimes people will do. They'll take that as, well, this is a sign it's not for me. No. You're using that as a subconscious excuse to not fulfill your purpose. This is what I work with with my clients. So I mentioned I'm going to talk about the doors are officially open. My Ready to Rise. I have all sorts of, I still have my tag down there, Rise Tribe. I have so many different teachings and offerings. And really the reason why is because there's so many different people, right? And so I really create a program based on each client's individual goals, who they are, their codes, right? Like if you were to go into a doctor's office and need a knee replacement, for example, they're not going to just give you, say if you're a 5'4" petite woman, they're not going to just give you something that's for a 6'2" man. We're literally coding. We're dividing up all the cells. We're dividing up everything where you're at right now. And we're creating a map, a blueprint for you. And so, yeah, that feels really good to just say out loud. Stop trying to fit the wrong knee onto you, right? I hope you get my analogy there. I love using analogies. So the doors have officially opened. My Ready to Rise. I am doing a really special offer to the first 10 people that sign up. You will get lifetime access. And why would you want lifetime access, right? What I can teach you, it's a 10-week series, 1 hour per week. We meet virtually on Zoom. You can meet anywhere in the world. And why would you want lifetime access? Well, because what I teach you is absolutely life-changing. It's up-leveling. And then at the end of the 10 weeks, you embody it, right? You literally transmute. You call yourself higher and you step up into it. I literally give you the how-tos, step by step. Here is what you do. And it only takes 1 hour per week. How cool is that? It's so simple. So if your mind right now is saying, no, that's too easy. Your mind's doing what the human brain has taught you to do, that it needs to be hard, that it needs to be more than 1 hour per week, that can't be right. right? This is the brain's job. And you get to reroute it. We get to shape it, and it's so malleable to being your brain. So the first 10 people, I am gifting lifetime access. So every time I teach it over and over and over again, you get to be part of it. So lots of different bonuses that are included. And I just wanted to come live and talk about this. And when you understand how to utilize the energies, and you get to have me face to face to ask me questions, and I can give you real-time coachings and teachings. And yeah, it's pretty magical. So first 10 people, I'm going to go ahead and I will drop the link down below on the live. And yeah, feels like there's one more thing to say here. Let's talk about the mood of the day. So just like there's a contract energy of the universe, it's so multi-layered and so multifaceted, and that's why it's really I think important to know that your own code, right? To know that what you're predestined, what you came here, what you decided to do, and not just love infinitely. That's everyone's purpose, but to really fulfill your own destiny. The mood of the day is a 2. So the 2 is asking for connections. Look at all these 2s we have around us. So right now, it's February 3rd, 2022. I am purposely scheduled a meeting yesterday at we did it at 2:12, but then I took a screenshot at 2:22, right? The 2s are all about connections. Think the 2 is like there's the 1 on each side. So it's the connection in between. So then you can ask yourself, with the 9 of spade energy that you know is here, with the 2 asking you to connect, to reach out, notice who you are connecting with right now. Who are you spending the most time with? Are they on that lower vibrational of the 9 of spades? Do they also believe that you will never be enough, or maybe that they will never be enough, and so they're reflecting and you're just bouncing back and forth off of each other? Or are they on the higher side of the 9 of spades and believe that universal law of vacuum, as I release and I let this thing go that is no longer serving me, right? This Netflix binging, this addiction to sugar, this addiction to coffee, whatever it might be that I'm doing and keeping my dreams at bay. Just notice, who are you connecting with? So I love to leave everyone with like a to-do. What you could do is look at your connections, because that's the mood of the day. It's wanting you to connect, and just notice who you're connecting with. Do they want to gossip? Do they want to talk shit? Or do they want to talk about stuff that really lights you up, right? Vacations. Are they doing the stuff that you want to do? This is really why joining mentorships is so important, because, I work with a mentor and all of my clients work with me because I'm doing the things that they're desiring. I'm literally showing them the pathway. And it's so fun. It's so fun to put yourself in proximity with others doing the thing, right? Not only does it build the confidence in yourself, but it literally is reprogramming the brain to show you that it's possible, instead of having your perception of what's out there that hasn't been working. So that's also maybe what I want to lean into and to talk about. The people that I'm going to allow in for these first 10 that will have lifetime access, they're ready. They're ready on these 9 of spade days to say, you know what I have been doing isn't working. And I might have been doing it for the past 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, but I'm ready now to break that pattern. I'm ready to say, I know I have a spiritual calling. I know I have a divine blueprint, and I'm ready to find out what that is. And I'm willing to admit that maybe what I've been doing for my entire career might not necessarily be that. And I'm willing to pivot. I'm willing to, whatever it takes, to cleanse myself of what feels like impurities, which feels like mind fog and, extra weight on my body, and calling in people over and over again who just want to suck my energy. I'm done with that. And I am ready. I'm willing to do what it takes. And if you tell me that it only takes 1 hour per week, I'm willing to be open to that. So again, if your brain is kind of fighting that and says, no, it has to be harder, just know your brain's doing its job. And the really cool thing is you get to give the brain a new job. You get to give the brain a job where we welcome in the ego. We welcome in the fear of the ego. We just let it know that the spirit's now taking over. The spirit now remembers the reason why you're here, and or at least is willing to remember. right? So the people that I will bring in, these first 10 into the lifetime access, will be the kind of people who are willing to drop the subconscious thoughts that, well, if I sign up for this program, then I can half-ass it, and I can then prove to myself subconsciously that that didn't work, and I can sign up for the next thing, and I can sign up for the next thing. This is not for you. And it's subconscious, so you might not really realize that you've been doing this. So you can ask yourself, free of judgment, have I been signing up for course after course, shaman after shaman, retreat after retreat, reading self-help book after self-help book, signing up for gym membership after gym membership, and then being like, well, that didn't work. What's next? It's subconscious. We trick our minds into believing that we're actually doing something proactive, that we're trying to get to our destiny, and we poo-poo it, right? We read the book, we maybe halfway read the book, and then we go on to the next book. Or we read the whole book and then we're like, see, I knew it wouldn't work. It's just subconscious, and it's okay. So this is what I'm able to uncover really quickly with my clients. So, you could spend 10 years discovering this, 20 years, maybe the rest of your life. And I can call it out probably in about 28 seconds, right? It's energy work. It's not necessarily something you'll even say. So, all right, I'm going to drop the link below. Officially, the doors are open. If you are someone who is ready to live on that higher side, to say whatever has happened in my past, whatever has got me to exactly where I'm at, I'm going to draw the line in the sand and I'm going to step over, and I'm not going to look back, and I'm ready to take my life higher. I'm ready to feel and experience the life that I have when I really fantasize, when I allow myself to go there. All right, everyone, have an amazing day. I will drop the link down below. And so you can get on my calendar and we can have a conversation if you're one of the 10. Right. 9 of spades, call yourself higher. I love you all.